Hi, this is Karen. We're going to go through how to do a virtual color analysis. The advantage is, of course, the convenience for both the consultant and the client, and the disadvantage is we're sacrificing accuracy. For this reason, we want to offer a disclaimer that 100% accuracy cannot really be guaranteed with the virtual consultation. And the reasons for this, I think, are obvious. In photographs, we're not guaranteed getting true color. And of course, we're not being able to see the person from different angles. The first step is to get some photographs of your client. So I ask for photographs from all different ages, especially childhood. I also want a current photograph of them outside or in natural daylight taken without makeup. So once I get all of the photographs, then I can go through them and I start to get a sense, just because I know what the different palettes or people that belong in the different palettes look like, I start to get a sense of where this consultation might be heading. I choose the photograph that I want to work with. Often it's the one that is current, taken outside without makeup. And then I want to adjust the photograph so that I can put it on a series of background colors. Now, to do this, you're going to need a software like Adobe Photoshop. That's the one that I use. There is a fee to use it. It's a subscription, and it typically starts at about $10 US a month. So you can purchase a year's subscription, for example. There are other platforms as well, so you could check those out. I also use CorelDRAW sometimes, but I prefer Adobe Photoshop. It's a little bit easier to work with for this particular purpose. So we're going to open up Adobe Photoshop right now. And in Adobe, I'm going to open a photograph that I have prepared earlier. And this is how the photograph might look that you would get from a client. So the first step is I'm just going to fit it onto the screen so I can see it better. And then I'm going to click my crop tool, and I'm going to crop just around the face. And just bring it in a bit there. And having some of the neck, and that's okay. All right, and then I just double click and that crops it. So now I'm going to fit it onto the screen again to make it a little bit bigger. And I want to make sure that it's a good size to fit on all of my backgrounds. My backgrounds are all 2000 pixels, so I'm just going to check the size of this picture. And okay, so this one, the height is 1400. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'll make it 1800 pixels. The resolution is 300. That's okay. We'll just keep it there and click OK. And you can see it's made it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to fit it onto the screen again. Now we want to get rid of all this background. So I'm going to click on my background, the eraser. This is making it white. So what I want to do is make it invisible. So I'm going to click on the magic eraser first. And just by doing that, now I can go, this is a little trick I figured out, go back to, and now I can, now my eraser is erasing the background. And you can tell because the background is not just white, it's all pixelated. So I've used my big eraser to get some of the big stuff. Now I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So now I can get in around the edges here. And because for this purpose, we don't need to have it, perfect. It's not like we're putting it in a magazine or anything. Now we want to save this picture. So I want to save it as under a different name. And I'm saving it as a PNG. And by saving it as a PNG, I'm preserving the transparent background so that when I put it over top of the background colors, you won't be seeing the background here of this picture. And now we can open up the background. Here you can see all of my background colors, and I've given them names with numbers. The first number represents the type of color. So number 1 are all the neutrals. Number 2 are all the reds. Number 3 are the oranges and pinks. Number 4s are the blues and greens, and number 5 are the purples and yellows. The second number represents the palette. So winter is 1, spring is 2, summer is 3, autumn is 4, cool is 5, warm is 6, deep is 7, light is 8, bright is 9, and muted is 10. So those are the 10 different palettes. So this screen, we're going to click Restore Down, and we have our Adobe Photoshop open. So I'm going to open the neutral pool. And then from the side, I can just carry my picture over, right click, place, and then save as. And this one I can name Karen Cool 1. And I want to save it as a PNG. I can also save it as a JPEG. Either one will be okay. Now we can X out of that one. And we don't want to save the original document because we don't want to lose our background original. So now we're going to open up the warm neutral. And the same thing, we can just carry this picture over, right-click place, save it as a PNG, and we'll call this one Karen Warm 1. So you can keep doing that with whatever backgrounds you need. So once I might do a few of the cools and warms and see which one is the best, and then from there, so for example, I'm cool, so then I would be doing some of the colors between winter and summer. And then after you figure out the season, so for me it would be summer, then you could choose the backgrounds for any of the flows that that person might be. Now I'm going to show you how to do your own background. So I'm going to get out of this, and I can now expand our Adobe Photoshop. So you want to open a new file. And you can see this screen comes up, so you can name it whatever you want to call that color. So let's just call it color background for now, because we're only going to do one. All right, and the size, I like to do, mine are 2000 pixels high and 2000 pixels wide, so let's do that. And the resolution, let's do 200 pixels per inch. We want to keep the RGB. I change this to 16-bit, and we click OK. And you see we have a white box. So now we can go over to our color picker and whatever color we want. So let's do a nice blue, something up in here. Let's see. And then we go to the bucket on the side, and we just click on it, and it changes the white to the color that you've chosen. If this is the color that you want, maybe you decide, oh, this is a nice winter blue, so you would just go to File, Save As, and call it winter blue, whatever name you're giving it. And then once you've done that, you can now choose your next color. So maybe you want to do maybe a summer blue. You want something with a little bit more gray in it, so you do the same thing. And click on it and save as summer blue. And then so you can go back, and maybe now you're ready to do a yellow. So maybe you'd like to do a spring yellow. So you just click up there, because you'll see in the color, when you're choosing the color, the purest, brightest color is always the top right. And then as you go down, it gets darker. As you go across, it's lighter. And then you can also see in the mid-range, you're also getting more tones with the gray. So a spring color is pretty light and bright, so we're going to be up there. And we click on the bucket, and then we save as spring yellow. And then if you want to do an autumn gold, that might be maybe down in there somewhere. Looking pretty good. Maybe not quite so much green in it. There we go. And bucket, and then we could call this one autumn gold. So you have the idea now of how to create your own backgrounds. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you don't want to create your own backgrounds, you can get mine in our web store at imageconsultantproducts.com, and just search for Virtual Color Analysis Kit and you will find it. If you have any questions, as usual, please let me know. Bye.